Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. This is Rashid, and I have here my Chip Goose. Okay, this is my new pet, and I really like her. So we'll keep her here, and we will teach you together system Verilog and hardware stuff. But if she becomes annoying, then I will remove her. Okay, all right. So in today's video, I want to talk about some of the logistics things, the tools aspects of it. Wanted to give you overall idea of it before we start into the core part. All right, the tools or utilities that I'm going to use are three generally for this hardware implementation. So System Verilog, that's what I will be using. Then the free simulator I'm going to use is Icarus. I think some people call it Icarus as well, but Icarus looks easier to pronounce. But so if you think I'm not pronouncing this simulator correctly, let me know. I never used this before. Okay, so I'll be learning as I teach. It appears that these two come as two separate packages. Okay, this is your simulator kind of checking the this is your tool that checks your input system Verilog, syntax and all that and compiles into a file which is then used by GKT, which is your waveform viewer basically. Okay, but you need to run the two separately. I will do initially, I will look into waveforms, but generally, gradually, I will test it in, I don't want you to focus somewhere else. I want you to focus here. So generally, I will not be using too much waveform because once we go into a lot more tests and all that, it just doesn't becomes feasible. Yeah, now the goose is walking in the right direction. And I will try to use Python. So if you have followed my previous series, you have seen that I did all this microarchitecture implementation of this code in Python. Alright, so and I have already tests written there and I would like to use them. So my goal is really to involve Python-based testing there that works with Icarus and System Verilog. So how the three work together, I will have much better idea toward the end of this course, but we'll see how it goes. All right. So as I said, I'm going to use System Verilog. A little bit history of it. You don't need to remember it, but the key point is that 2005 onward, the Verilog became System Verilog. I mean, you can still use Verilog separately, but System Verilog came into being, and key thing was to, of course, to fix some of the frustration in Verilog. But the major part, I believe, was adding more verification capabilities into System Verilog. Okay, and we will look at into some of those. Well, I am planning to use to discover both. I mean the synthesis constructs. All right, here is the thing I believe I need to tell you very quickly, and we can look later on in more detail, that you, maybe let's look into this one first, that you have to change your mind shift, change your mindset now, okay? You have to think in hardware way and not in pure software way. So the way we use these hardware languages to implement the hardware is really draw the hardware first, which is really drawing my microarchitecture in Python because it got much bigger and complex. Right? So I drew it there, and now all I will do is just convert that into hardware description language. So, for example, within a module, you can have an AND, a flip-flop, but you can put AND first, then instantiate register, then you assign a variable, and then you have an OR gate. Okay, but actually hardware, whenever A and B changes, not only Q1 changes, but if A, B is Q2 also changes. correct? So even if you have put it at the end, but this arg output will also change. And similarly, when Q1 changes, it goes to, this shouldn't be, it feels like we're driving Q2 in both ways. But maybe remove that thing because it might create confusion. Okay, so Q2 when changes, so even though Q2 after that, but as soon as Q2 changes, if a clock cycle arrives, positive edge of the clock cycle arrives, Q2 goes to the output of register. Okay, so all those people who are very new to the hardware description languages, could be people watching from during who are in bachelor programs. So keep in mind that you have to think a little bit differently. It's not like you have something in mind and as like in Python or C we start coding it. Yes, we will code it, but we still have to think about hardware, the parallelism of hardware. Even though the tools, Icarus is a software, okay, they will definitely go sequentially, but overall there's a concept of hardware in the simulation. Okay, that's important. Then the other thing I want you to focus here is we take this RTL, okay, and we synthesize it, okay, here, and then synthesis creates gates. Wow, that's a new feature. Okay, disappeared. So we take RTL and I think this is, let's get rid of. So we take the RTL, SystemVerilog. Okay, sometime I'll call it RTL, sometime a SystemVerilog. So we take that in. Once we have this SystemVerilog there, we have checked the syntax and we have done some initial verification as well. Okay, so we take it through synthesis. Synthesis is going to create a netlist. Netlist is just everything is in the form of basic gates. Not transistor, basic gates. Okay, even though gates are made of transistor, but here we will talk about gates and inverter, buffer, flip-flop, latches, and all those, or and type of cells. Okay, standard cell library, that's what we call it. So these are gates. So here our goal is to convert the equivalent hardware. Then we lay out this, and eventually the GDS that we send to the fab is actually based off the metals and transistor connection and all that. Okay, so this is really the tape out line. But the verification, as I said, SystemVerilog was enhanced with a lot of verification capabilities. The verification part takes a pretty long time. Some initial verification I can do. I ran few instructions. I had ALU I took and I simulated ALU. For a few of the values gives me good, and I'm good. I have a good confidence and I move on. But let's say I put ALU together with something else, and then let's say we put the whole RISC-V together. Okay, and there could be a lot of scenarios. I just need to ensure that every possible input I can verify just to see how the system is going to behave. And that is called full verification. So typically what happens when your RTL comes in, initial compilation happens, syntax is checked, some initial runs, testing is done. Once you feel it's in good shape, you start on that flow. And in parallel, you do a full verification, which could be a random verification and can take a lot of time. So you can start doing physical design when in parallel your RTL validation. And whenever they find some bug, they go back to RTL, they fix it. They keep getting few bugs. When they have a next milestone, they will release another one for the physical design team, another RTL. Okay, so you will see in the SystemVerilog that we will have main focus, okay, how to write a code that eventually we can create in hardware. But there will be a lot of code in SystemVerilog which we add, and there is no hardware meaning of that. It is just there to print something, to add some delays for simulation purpose. So it's not a synthesizable construct. Okay, so there will be some which are good for verification as well as good for synthesis. Okay, those are good here. But anything you have purely for verification, more a software language type construct, that will be ignored here and is only for verification. We will use both because we have to test our code and we have to synthesize our code. But my focus will be more on the synthesis type. Here, we'll see, as I said, maybe we will use SystemVerilog purely, or maybe use some sort of interface with Python. So we drive a lot of testing and checking of the outputs in Python so that it's compatible to what I created previously. We'll see how that goes. But that's my plan. All right. So when it comes to SystemVerilog, you need to understand you're talking about hardware and it's a parallelism there. All right. Second thing is there could be synthesis and there could be this one. The third thing is in SystemVerilog, goal here is that we don't code thing in gates, right? So I don't know if I have here or not, but when you have a multiplexer, you know, and eventually multiplexer is kind of AND and OR gates. You can combine AND and invert. Right? If I start writing RTL in terms of gate, this will be very cumbersome, right? It will be tedious. Let's look into control block, for example. A lot of Python coding I had was if opcode is this, func3 is this, func7 is this, then you generate those signals. It's much easier than hardware description language to give some sort of higher level behavioral code, higher level kind of constructs use, if else, case statements and all that, as opposed to thinking purely in terms of gates. So yes, you need to think of in terms of gates, but you don't have to think of individual inverter and NAND. Now in some places, for example, in my code over here, I had a gate here, which is inside this now SAU. But this gate, maybe I'll just model as a gate. Within the gate, you can also instantiate a NAND gate from the standard cell library, or you can use some operators for AND gate. Okay, so we can code like that. But whenever there's a little bit more complex hardware, you can use if else, case statements and all that. But at the same time, sometimes seeing people running a lot of loops there, and sometimes you get confused. What is that going to generate? In terms of loop, in terms of software, it will be simple thing, right? But you need to think of that every loop is going to replicate a hardware. So I want you to think of hardware when you are writing in SystemVerilog. That is really the key thing I want to talk about in this video. Actually, I wanted to talk about more simulator, but let's do that in next video. I will give you an overview, okay, how I'm using it. I have Ubuntu, and then I have my PC is Windows, but I install Ubuntu in there. And there, how I'm using, I use an example. I will show you more of those practical examples when I share screen on desktop. I think that's where most of the video will come, but I wanted to give you an overview. If you have a file, how to compile it, how to see wave from there, and how I install Icarus simulator. All right, so we'll talk about that in the next time. First few videos I will keep it for general public, so you can see what kind of course I'm going to create. But this will be very practical type of course. Instead of boring with you with all different of constructs of SystemVerilog, I will give you some basic survival skills in SystemVerilog, but then I will jump into implementing certain blocks. And that's where if something new I introduce, I will explain you. So just in time concepts type of approach I'm going to use along with some basic SystemVerilog surviving skills. All right, that's it for now. And next video, we will talk about some of this stuff. And I will see you pretty soon. Take care. Bye.